everybody. This is Brian.
Jason.
And this is the Perfectly Screwed Podcast.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. We're going to do episode 2 of the Golden State Killer, which actually is episode 121.
121?
Uh-huh.
It's a lot of episodes.
So if you haven't listened to the last one, go back to 120 and listen to that one, because this is part 2. But before we get into that, I was watching something on TikTok today because I do get on the TikTok occasionally there and watch some shit. And it kind of humored me because this guy was interviewing people from MAGA. You know what MAGA is, right?
Make America Great Again.
Yeah, the Trump supporters. So, not that I support Trump or Biden one way or the other, really, because I think they both have their ups and downs on things. But this cracked me up, dude. He was interviewing them because he wanted to see if they knew as much as somebody who had to pass the immigration test to get in the country. Like, because there's a test, right?
Oh shit!
So he asked them,
that's genius.
He asked them questions like, how many amendments to the Constitution are there? There's 27, but these motherfuckers were like 12, 10, 13, 30.
So to become an illegal or a legal citizen, you have to pass like a written exam?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's wild.
Mm-hmm. Like, you have to know how many amendments there are to the Constitution. You got to know, like, the first 3 words.
I wouldn't have known that.
You didn't know there was 27?
No.
Yeah, I did. Like, you got to know the first 3.
I would have said 10, like they were talking about the commandments.
Thou shalt not kill.
I guarantee it. I'm fucking all up.
What was that movie? History of the World Part 1 with Mel Brooks. He goes, I have from God these 15, boom, 10 commandments. He drops a tablet. He's like,
So, what, the first 3 words of what? What was
the Constitution.
Oh, what is it?
We the people.
That's right.
Right. These people could not get it here.
That's the Constitution?
Yeah, we the people of the United States in order to form a more perfect union.
I would have guessed that was the Declaration.
No. Yeah. It's we the people of the United States in order to form a more perfect union. Yeah. Yeah. But, no, he asked these young kids, these young guys, and they were like, life, liberty, and justice? And this guy passing by in the back goes, no, we the people, you idiots. It's like, fucking stupid.
That's funny.
And they had to sing the Star Spangled Banner,
right.
The national anthem.
Yeah.
They couldn't sing it, clearly.
Really?
Yeah. It was ridiculous. It was just funny because I was like, "Oh my god, dude!"
Well, it is fun. I mean, I would guess
it was on. It was
a lot of American citizens probably wouldn't get those questions right. To be honest with you.
Well, I know, but I mean that's basic. And if you pay attention in like government and like American history,
I wonder if like we tried to become citizens in like Mexico, if we would have to take a test.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm sure. There's usually a citizenship test for every country you want to like become a citizen in.
Right.
But it just cracked me up.
That is funny.
It cracked me up, dude. But anyway, so we were talking about the Golden State Killer, and where we left off, he had which this guy's a whack nut anyways, but
what was his name?
Oh, goddamn, you just had to ask me that question, didn't you? What is his name? I'll tell you in a minute. I'll tell you. I just said it. Oh, Joseph James D'Angelo.
That's right.
But he goes by a lot of names. I mean...
Yeah, he had a lot of aliases.
Yeah. The Vasilia Ransacker, East Area Rapist, East Side Rapist, East Bay Rapist, Creek Bed Killer, Diamond Knot Killer, Original Night Stalker, Errands, which I don't get, and the Golden State Killer. But where we left off, he had just committed his actual first killing because he was a rapist and a burglar. A burglar. Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen?
There it is.
There is this game we have here on the Perfectly Screwed podcast, and if I fuck up a word, you got to take a shot. So feel free, if you're not driving and you're at home relaxing, feel free to just grab
operating heavy machinery and Ryan.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. You fucked up.
You can drink if I fuck up too, but if Brian says a word like burglar,
like burglar. He committed burglaries. Anyways, but we were at the point where he committed his first murder. So that was in 1979, and we're going to fast forward now to 1980. This was on March 13th. 33-year-old Charlene Smith and 43-year-old Lyman Smith were found murdered in their Ventura home. Charlene had been raped. A log from the woodpile on the side of the house was used to bludgeon them both to death. Well, there you go.
A log?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So he picked up a log, came in the house, raped the old lady, and beat the shit out of them. He had bound their wrists. God damn, it's starting off early, boys.
Hope you folks are ready to get the title on today.
Yeah.
And Brian is drinking water, I swear.
I am. I haven't drank a bit of I can't drink alcohol. I'm a Percocet.
So just to refresh.
Maybe it's the Percocet.
That could be. Just to refresh as well, this is also the guy that would rape his victim.
Yes. And then talk to himself.
Proceed to make himself a sandwich. Get into the fridge, have a couple beers.
Yeah.
And then go back and rape some more.
I just
wanted to make sure we were on the right.
Yeah, we're on this guy. Yeah.
So he was quite comfortable.
Yeah.
Is what we're saying. Yeah. He liked to make himself at home.
Yeah, he liked to make himself at home while he was raping and murdering and, burglarizing the houses.
Yes.
I can't believe I couldn't say wrist, but I could say burglarizing. Yeah. Here we go. Okay. So he bludgeoned his victims to death this time, and then he bound their wrists and ankles with drapery cord. He used an unusual Chinese knot called a diamond knot, and this is where he gets the name the Diamond Knot Killer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he used that on Charlene's wrists. They knew that it was the same guy because the same knot was in the East Area rapist attacks, and which was publicly known. He was only briefly given the name the Diamond Knot Killer, though. So this was in March, and then the next one was in August, and this was 24-year-old Keith Harrington and 27-year-old Patricia Harrington. They were also bludgeoned to death in their home of Cockshell.
Nice. I like it.
Cockshell.
Out of town?
Or Cockleshell Drive. No, it was in Dana Point's Niggle.
Careful.
Yes, and careful. Niggle. Dana Point's Niggle Shores, I promise you. Niguel. Niggle. Niggle Shores, and that was a gated community.
Maybe it's Nigel.
Nigel? I don't know. Niguel. So Niguel?
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 That's a mystery.
I don't know. Patricia Harrington had been raped, and they'd both been bludgeoned again. There was evidence that their ankles and wrists were bound. No murder weapon or ligatures were found at the scene, though. So in 81, so he doesn't do these rapes and murders a lot, though, like in quick succession.
Yeah.
Like some we've talked about, like Richard Ramirez and others. Like they do one right after another. Hell, Ramirez did 2 or 3 in one night.
They get in a rhythm.
Yeah. This guy takes some time in between. You
Right.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
March, then August, then it's 1981, February of 81. So he waited a long time in between these.
Yeah.
So he, on February of 1981, he met 28-year-old oh, good God, Manuela, Witthuh. How would you say that? Witthuh?
W-I.
Tthuh. Witthuh?
Witha?
Witha?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
we'll
don't
go with Witha. But anyways, Manuela Witha was raped and murdered in her urban home. She had signs of being tied up. She was also bludgeoned, but again, they found no weapon or ligatures. Her husband was away and hospitalized at the time, and she was alone at the time of the attack. Now, this is interesting. He took the television out of the house in this one, for some reason, and put it in the backyard. It was sitting in the middle of the backyard. They thought maybe he was trying to make it look like a robbery, but the TV was just sitting in the middle of the yard.
Maybe he was setting up a garage sale.
I don't know what he was doing. So then July, he waited from February to July in the next one. And this one was 35-year-old Sherry Domingo and 27-year-old Gregory Sanchez. This became his 10th and 11th murder victims. Both were attacked in Domingo's residence and where Domingo was living temporarily. He entered the house through a small bathroom window. Sanchez had not been tied, but was shot and wounded in the cheek before he bludgeoned him to death with a gardening tool. He beat him to death with a hoe, dude.
Wow.
And you can't say that this guy is not inventive. I mean, he just finds shit.
He's resourceful.
Yeah, he's resourceful. Yeah, he finds shit at the house. He's like, look, there's a shovel. Let's just beat him to death with a shovel. Here's a big old log. Looks like a good weapon.
And, I mean, yeah, this dude's... He's disturbed.
So Sanchez actually tried to tackle him, and rather than being tied up. No neighbors responded to the gunshots, although they heard them. Nice of those neighbors. Yeah. No, we're not going to call the cops or anything.
Yeah.
There's like 4 or 5 shots in this house, you know, but fuck it. Fuck it.
Target practice.
Yeah, obviously. Obviously.
Got him a new gun. They're just shooting some beer cans.
So Sanchez's head was covered with clothes from the closet for some reason. This is another weird thing that he did this time. Why? We don't know. Domingo, though, was raped and bludgeoned. She had also been tied up. There was fibers from an unknown source scattered about her body. And they never, that was all the evidence they had on that one. Now, after this, he takes a 6-year hiatus. So, this was 80 or 81. No, this was 81. So, a 5-year hiatus. So, this was 81, and this was July of 81, and he doesn't kill anybody from 1981 all the way to 1986. So there's a 5-year, there's a 5-year period where he kills nobody. He just stops for 5 fucking years, which is rare.
Yeah, very rare.
In serial killing cases. So the next one was 1986, and it was May of 86. And it was 18-year-old Janelle Cruz. She was found dead after she was raped. She was bludgeoned. Her family was on vacation in Mexico at the time of the attack. A pipe wrench that he found at the family home that was Cruz's stepfather's was the murder weapon. Originally, investigators didn't think they were connected, even though she was tied up with the exact same knots and bludgeoned to death and raped, just like all the other murders. Of course they're not connected. Why would the police connect those?
Right.
I mean, same knots, same MO, same exact, thing that's happened, 5 years ago, but they're not connected in any way, shape, or form.
Can't be.
No, of course not. Psychic didn't tell us that, Jason.
Same guy that did this 5 years ago wouldn't just all of a sudden start again.
No,
This
of course
has to
not.
be.
Yeah, it has to be a completely different murder.
This is a coincidence.
Mm-hmm. Copycat, maybe.
Possible.
Wouldn't be the same guy. Never. No, I mean, we didn't catch the guy.
I wouldn't put those pieces together.
No,
I
me
don't know
neither.
about you.
No, never. Same knot, same MO, bludgeoned to death, raped. But, I'm sure that's just complete coincidence.
Mystery.
Yeah, mysteries. Okay. Finally, a Sacramento detective said he strongly believed that the East Area rapists were responsible for all these attacks.
Hey,
Yeah!
Common sense.
But then the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office said, no. It's got to be this local career criminal that we've been watching, who was later a murderer.
Right.
No, who was later murdered. So he was murdered later on, and they said it's got to be him.
Had to be.
Had to be him. The
It is.
local police in the surrounding jurisdictions followed false leads related to men who were close to the female victims instead of thinking that it was one person. In fact, one person who was later cleared of all charges was charged with 2 of the murders. It wasn't until many years later that the cases were linked completely by DNA testing.
Thank God for science.
They had a guy. Oh, he did it. Had to be him. And he's innocent the whole time.
Nothing to do with it.
We know it's you, motherfucker.
We got you. We've been watching you son of a bitch.
Yeah, none of these are related. I mean, same knot, all bludgeoned to death, all this shit they find at the house, all coming in windows. He eats at everyone,
Right.
drinks some beers, and rapes the women.
Fucking
But I'm
leaves
sure,
These TVs in the fucking
yeah,
yard.
but I'm sure none are related. Not at all. Not at all. I mean, exact same thing happens at everyone, but I don't know. Related? That seems a bit of a stretch here, boy.
Makes sense to me.
Okay. Now, he was also suspected of committing the 1974 Vasilla rapes and murder of Jennifer Armour, and the 1975 Exeter rape and murder of Donna Jo Richmond, and the 78 murder of a woman and her son in Simi Valley. But he was cleared later on by DNA testing. So they thought he had killed a lot more, but he didn't. So now here's a poem he sent to law enforcement in 1977. He called it Excitement's Crave. All those mortals surviving birth, upon facing maturity, take inventory of their worth to prevailing society. Choosing values becomes a task. Oneself must seek satisfaction. The selected route will unmask character when plans take action. Accepting some work to perform at fixed pay but promised for more. is a recognized social norm, as is decorum seeking lore. Achieving while others lifting should be cause for deserving fame. Leisure tempts, excitement seeking. What's right and expected seems tame. Jesse James has been seen by all, and Son of Sam has an author. Others now feel temptation's call. Sacramento should make me an offer. To make a movie of my life. That will pay for my planned exile. Just now I'd like to add the wife of a mafia lord to my file. He signed it, your East Area rapist and deserving pest. See you in the press or on TV.
Wow. So he is seeking the limelight, obviously.
And then he drew them a punishment map, and on the back of the map he wrote the word punishment across the whole page. And then a big spiral over and over and over again. And the punishment map basically outlines the whole area where he was raping and killing people.
Really?
Yeah. During the investigation in Danville of the 42nd attack, investigators discovered 3 sheets of notebook paper near where a suspicious vehicle had reportedly been parked. They believe the pages were dropped by accident, perhaps by falling out of a bag. The first was an essay on General George Armstrong Custer. The second sheet contains a journal-style entry describing a teacher who made students write lines which the author found very humiliating. He wrote, "Mad is the word that reminds me of 6th grade. I hated that year. I wish I had known what was going to be going on during my 6th grade year, the last and worst year of elementary school. Mad is the word that remains in my head about my dreadful year as a 6th grader. My madness was one that was caused by disappointments that hurt me very much. Disappointments from my teachers, such as a field trip that were planned and canceled." Hold on. I'm going to stop right there.
What?
He just said, I'm going to read this again.
Well,
my madness was caused by disappointments that hurt me very much. Disappointments from my teacher in 6th grade, such as a field trip that was planned and canceled. I'm raping and bludgeoning women to death because my 6th grade teacher canceled a field trip.
I gotta tell you.
Hey!
My whole opinion on the guy's now changing because that's devastating. It's devastating, Brian.
I couldn't go to the zoo, so now I must kill women.
Are excited because you're getting out of school today and you're going on this nice scheduled field trip. And all of a sudden,
Jesus.
It's fucking canceled.
Jesus Christ.
Now, I'm not saying it's going to drive me to kill, bludgeon, and rape. But I'm not going to be happy about it. You know.
I mean, sure. Take away my crayons, I've got to kill a woman.
Fucking hurts.
I mean, I understand. I sympathize with the guy.
It's a disappointment.
I'm not saying he's insane, but I'm
not saying the public schools system is to blame. Totally. But you need to think about what you're doing when you're canceling field trips. Okay?
You might be making a serial killer.
I didn't take his fucking paper home to get fucking permission slip to get signed by my parents. For fucking nothing. Bullshit.
Okay, he goes on. He says, my 6th grade teacher gave me a lot of disappointments. Fuck!
Disappointments.
Take a shot!
Disappointments.
Brian can't speak tonight. Disappointments which made me very mad and made me built a state of hatred in my heart. No one ever let me down that hard before.
Jesus.
And I
Christ.
have never hated anyone as much as I did him. Disappointment wasn't the only reason that made me mad in the 6th grade class. Another was getting in trouble at school, especially talking. That's what really bugged me, was writing sentences. Those awful sentences that my teacher made me write hours and hours. I'd sit and write 50, 100, 150 sentences a day and night. I write those dreadful paragraphs, which embarrassed me. And more important, it made me ashamed of myself, which in turn, deep down inside, made me realize that writing sentences wasn't fair. It wasn't fair to make me suffer like that. It just wasn't fair to make me sit and write until my bones ached. Until my hand felt every horrid pain it had ever had as I wrote. I got madder and madder until I cried. I cried because I was ashamed. I cried because I was disgusted. I cried because I was mad. I cried for myself, a kid who kept on having to write those damn sentences. Oh my God! Again, I'm not saying he was insane, but Jesus Christ.
Dude's insane.
I had to write so many sentences.
Yeah.
That's why I'm bludgeoning women.
He was insane at an early age.
Good God, man. Okay. Oh. I was mad and I cried for myself, a kid who had to keep writing those damn sentences. My angriness from 6th grade has scarred my memory for life, and I will be ashamed of my 6th grade year forever.
Wow.
Okay. You are a lunatic.
Yes.
Lunatic. On the last sheet was a hand-drawn map of a suburban area, with the word punishment scrawled on the reverse side. Investigators were unable to identify the area depicted on the map, although it looked like the area of the East Area Rapist. And the artist clearly had knowledge of the architectural layout and landscape design of the area. The detective, Larry Poole, thought that the map was actually a fantasy location representing the rapist's desired striking ground, even though it looked a lot like the area the East Area Rapist was frequenting. So, we've got detectives that see this area that they, patrol. And it looks like the area. But the detective goes, no, this has got to be a fantasy. Fantasy.
That's
Clearly. That street doesn't exist there.
Never seen that
Got to be a
before.
fantasy.
Right.
Yeah. Here we go again. Another.
Yeah.
Another.
It is the most common thread in all of these.
Every single serial killer we get
one.
into, it's like the police are just oblivious.
Yeah.
I mean, the one they stumbled upon, they were looking for a missing girl and stumbled upon like 12 victims.
Yeah.
The Gilgo Beach.
Cemetery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, look at this. We got a serial killer's dumping grounds. We didn't even know it was here.
Yeah.
Hey, Jim, good job.
Yeah, no, it is. It's alarming, really.
Well, guys, this was episode 121. And I'm hoping the next episode actually ends this crazy whack job. But we will be on, on part 3 on the next episode on the Golden State Killer. And we will see you next time.
Later.